Hey, good people. This is Rocky with Rocky's Reality, the #1 podcast for unfiltered and unapologetic culture, entertainment, and relationships. Tap in live Thursdays, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as I chat with some of the dopest artists, celebrities, influencers, entrepreneurs, and more. Make sure to catch us live Thursdays, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Roku. See you soon.
Yes. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is? It is Aries season. Aries season. The first sign of the zodiac. I love it. So happy belated birthday to moi. I might look a few shades darker. That's because I was in the sun, living my best life.
Man.
In Puerto Rico. I had a fucking ball. I can't even say nothing else. Like, I had a fucking ball, and I'm glad I did it. And I encourage everyone to travel as much as possible. Bills will be here. People responsibilities will be here. Travel as much as you can, because you can earn more money. You cannot earn more time. That's my motto. Like, I can get more money, but I can't, these years is passing us. So welcome to Rocky's Reality, you all. I'm back at it. Literally just got home Tuesday. And so this is an appropriate show as we're ending Women's History Month, because I was drunk the whole time in Puerto Rico. So this is the irony that we're having a show about sobriety. And mocktails, So hey, listen, I'm all for it though, and I love how people come back together. So I want to welcome to the show, and I'm not gonna read y'all whole bios because it's just no. I love you though, Jacquise. We know you the shit. You the shit.
Oh, that's crazy.
But and my local my local
bio is
Wolverine.
like 2 sentences.
Go blue.
My fellow Wolverine, y'all, by the way. So y'all know she dope. I'm saying that. Go blue, go blue. But I'm going to read a little bit of it out of respect for those. It was well written here. But my first guest, Jacquise, who actually my return guest. Is this your third time, Jacquise?
Definitely my second.
Yeah, definitely the second, because I know we did the girlfriends. I think it's your third, because we talked about something else, and then we talked about the girlfriends.
Yeah.
But Jacquise Purifoy, Esquire, by the way, Black attorney, is a business consultant specializing in small business and curating unique events under the brand The Purifoy Experience. Some of her highlights: she's worked with Senator Hanson Clark. Is he still a senator?
He is not.
He's not. Okay. Well, former senator, or was it state rep?
He was state senator. Then he became a U.S. House of Representative.
Okay, gotcha. Hanson Clark, which, by the way, he's from my old hood, Mack and Van Dyke area, East Side. He's from that area. She's a zealous advocate for people in her community, has raised money for businesses, met my forever president, Barack Obama, twice. Yeah. By the way, he will always be my president. I'm just saying that. I'm not recognizing anyone else after him, just to be honest. I'm serious. Y'all already know how I feel about that. But welcome back to the show, Jacquise. And she has a glowing resume, but just all around dope ass person. So welcome back. And she is celebrating 13 months of sobriety, y'all.
Yay.
So give that some claps. That's definitely because I've been sober about maybe 13 hours now. So hey.
It happens to the best.
Listen, I am all for it, but I just admire the discipline that comes with that. And I admire people like Mrs. Karlyta Williams, the founder of Mockery, Detroit's premier, the first of its kind non-alcoholic bottle shop and social space dedicated to reimagining the way we connect and celebrate.
That's right.
So welcome and congratulations to you, Karlyta. This is your first time. Located in the heart of Detroit, off 6 Mile. In Livernois, in the heart of the city. So welcome and thank you to everyone who's watching.
All right.
You said what?
The aorta.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes, I love it. Okay. The aorta. Yes, that's for sure. I love that. So obviously she's another intelligent young lady as Jacquise and myself, because they went to high school together. Y'all went to high school?
We did.
What high school is it?
You know, we just graduated in 2015.
Listen,
I was
I ain't
young.
mad at
We're
it.
so
I ain't
young.
mad at it.
Young, yeah.
So young out
We,
here in these
we
streets.
still getting. That's why she decided to do non-alcoholic.
Man.
So where y'all went to
Dominican.
Dominican? Is it still open?
No.
No, it's not. I'm tripping. I mean, it'd be so
They
many
just closed
changes
it
in the
last
city.
year.
Oh, okay. Say, see,
I'm just
that's why
I'm
I know.
joking.
Or has it been closed for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me catch up, Mustard, because it'd be so much shit going on in the city. You got to ask, like, is this still open? Is that, and I'm love the people tapping in already. Yes.
Man, tap.
Yes. Thank you, LaShonda Cooley
Hey,
and
LaShonda.
Chef Fine as Wine. Okay, if you say so, for checking in. But ladies, so welcome to the show, ladies. So thank you for coming together. And I love how this must be destiny for you to be opening this up. And Jacquise is now sober. So I know you were like, this works out.
Yes.
Definitely. And I live down the street.
Oh, shit.
I can walk there.
Listen.
There you go.
Listen, happy hour right up the way.
Hello.
Okay.
It's funny how things work out.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then also, Karlyta and I were in school,
Sure were.
operations school last year. So
Sure
shout out
were.
to Rachel Allen,
Yes.
my fellow Aries. And I think so I love how just things are connected. Like Detroit it's only 3 degrees of separation
Truly.
in the city.
1.5.
Literally, everybody knows somebody. So your days at Dominican, ladies, did you all like know each other? Was y'all girls or was y'all? Let's get to the tea of that. Was it,
You know what's crazy? There's no
was it
tea.
yeah. Y'all just was it,
we for sure. I would say that we were friends, but we were friends in like, how you're in high school and you have like groups that intermesh with one another.
Mhm.
That's what it was.
We all wore Coogee.
Our
Our parents
Oh my
had
God.
money.
Now see the Coogee
The
sweaters.
Coogee sweater and the gator
Listen.
heels.
Wait a minute, y'all can wear that though? Didn't y'all
Yeah.
wear a uniform?
I'm dressed down at homecoming.
Oh, okay. I'm like, wait a minute.
You had to pay $1. How much we had to pay to dress down?
I
50
really
cents.
do think it was 50 cents.
50 cents.
Ooh,
Dress down Friday, so you'll see all the
50
Gucci's.
cents. These
And
kids-
the
50 cents.
these
It was no
kids don't
tap
know
to
about
pay.
that.
There was no tap to pay. It was literally bring your 2 quarters.
Exactly. They probably paying $5 to
Oh,
dress down now.
sure.
Listen, get into it, y'all. Google it. Look it up. Y'all got AI now. Y'all can look at all these past trends that we're talking about.
Man.
So, how did you come about with developing mocktails? Have you always been a non-drinker, Karlyta?
No, absolutely not. So honestly, I always tell people the truth, which is it's the business that was never supposed to be a business. I myself, like all of us, was locked up inside for COVID and reevaluating lots of things, as I think many of us were, whether we were doing it by force, by intention, and just, wrote a list for myself. And that list looked like me coming to the reality of, you have a conversations with your friends, your coworkers, and you're always like, oh, if I didn't have to show up to work, I would be in such good shape. I would be doing so many better things for myself. If I had this time to myself, if I had more time at home to myself. And I said, Karlyta, you're going to do one or two things. We don't know how long you're going to be in here. You're either going to prove yourself to be a liar, or you're going to give yourself an opportunity to really like step into re-examining some of these things and doing something that's different and better.
Okay.
And I wrote a list, and that list looked like on one side, I love lists, especially about self-examination. It was like, here's the woman you've always said you dreamed of being, right? You always said you wanted to be. And what are you already currently doing that's in that vein? And on the other side, it's like, okay, but what are you doing possibly, or who are you engaging with in the space where it looks like this is pulling you further away? And there were just some things that had common denominators. And whether that was like spending outside of your budget, for the things that you say you want to save money for, that you say are going to propel you into this woman. And you're going out, you're spending too much money on eating, having cocktails with friends, eating, having cocktails with friends, eating. And then your weight goals,
And
your fitness goals.
drinks is high as hell, too. Yeah.
In price and calories. So it's like even your fitness goals, like all of these things. And it was just like, what can I control? Which cheat code is all of the things. But what's one thing that I can like immediately get on? And that's what it looked like. And I just started making stuff for myself. And that was really
what was your 9 to
intention.
5?
So I still have a 9 to 5.
Okay, you still do.
I
Okay.
still have a 9 to 5.
Okay.
I work in the nonprofit sector.
But you were just like at the point where you're like, I want better. So I need to and I don't want to have to pay someone, so let me make my own.
Yeah, I want to make.
concoctions.
I was really just experimenting. It was really just me giving myself another option, and that's what it looked like, and that's what I was doing. I love hosting, so when I was like, I could have friends over, we gather in groups of 4. I just started giving them to them, and one of my friends said, "You should do this," and I'm like, "Do what?" And they're like, and they're like, "This." I'm like, "Entertain you,"
Yes,
and
yes.
that's just kind of how I went from there.
Okay. I love that, and that's we all need friends. Which, by the way, she did bring us a little something,
I'm
something that we sipping
I'm
on. Y'all.
always bring a
You
drink.
know, some-
Kombucha.
we'll get into what it is later because she has a ton of varieties from what I can see.
Yes,
But I thank God for friends like that because they propel us into what we
absolutely.
should be doing. And speaking of, Jacquise is one of those friends who gives you those ideas, who's like, this is what you should be doing. This is
Am
how
I?
you should be doing it. Yeah,
Okay.
you know you are.
And do it with a heart.
With a harp, yeah.
You
I'm
know
gonna
you
do some
are.
sound healing with a harp.
Right.
That's coming next.
Right, because you're one of the people who encouraged me as far as getting my camera when I started with rolling out and
Yeah.
just things like that. So, and that's been almost 10 years now.
Dang, it's been that long.
Yeah, because I had to. You got to say it out loud to remind yourself because I started with rolling out in November of 2015.
Wow.
So Jacquise and I met not too long after that. So yeah, it's been some years. So for you though, Jacquise. So wait a minute, this extended. I'm sorry. So this Karlyta, this extended into a friend said you should do this, and then you were like, what was that moment where you shifted and was like, I am going to do this?
I am willing to try anything, right? I'm willing to try anything. And the other side of it is, I mean, call it whatever you want to call it, a spiritual experience, you know, a voice, the voice of God, whatever people need to say to understand it or agree.
The
But
universe, God, what
It's
a
Higher power.
a higher power,
creator,
the
whatever,
most high, right? It's
whatever,
about
whatever we do
8,000
to get,
names,
whatever we
right?
do to get to it. But it was like, no, it was just a matter of being obedient. And just seeing where the obedience took me. And that's exactly what it was. And so I just started out by doing it, whether it was like friends who were having people over, let me do it, just let me make you some drinks, give me some feedback, I'll do it for you for free, just let me know. And that's what it looked like, just doing it from that point of view. And then I actually had an experience with a woman at a vendor show, and she walked up to me and she hugged me. I did not know this woman. And it was a real hug, like one of them hugs that like, you like, is a tear about to fall out of my eye? And I leaned back and she looked me in my eyes and she goes, thank you. I needed this. We needed this. And for me, that's when the rubber met the road. And it's just been an amazing experience all the way through, because the way that people show up and support, and not just support, but share some really vulnerable moments and stories surrounding what their lives look like prior to alcohol and all those kinds of things. And to have them even trust me with those stories is huge. So it's much more than it was always more than drinks. It's more than a bottle shop. It's about community reimagining things in a way that we haven't been able to because of the tradition of alcoholic drinking. But that's how it all started, and that's how it all happened, and it has just been going from that point. I just think when you're obedient to whatever it is that's calling you, right? You get the blessing of flow. You fall into flow.
Yeah, true story.
Yeah.
True story. True
Yeah.
story. Yeah. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
So for you, Jacquise, how did this fit in for you? And let's talk about your journey,
Sure.
because we've both had some drunken times. We
Oh,
done
yeah.
party hard and all of that.
Yeah.
But eventually you got to sober up and you got to handle your business. If
Or
you want,
die.
if you want, right, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally,
Financially.
all of that. Right, right. So for you, talk about a snapshot of your journey.
A snapshot of my
That's
journey.
why I said a snapshot, because I know it's a lot of twists and turns and bends.
Yeah.
And
I've been sober 13 months. The pandemic for me was a nightmare. I'm an extrovert. So
Yeah.
being locked in a house was torturous because I get my energy from people.
yeah,
And as strange as that is, but if you know me, I don't like hugging and I don't like people touching me. So I was grateful for the 6 feet distancing rule. That was sweet. I think we should keep that.
I be hugging her every time I see her, by the way.
You do.
I
You
was about to
do.
say I walked in here and hugged her, so I'm like,
Yeah, but
Sorry,
see,
we be
for
forgetting.
yeah, but see, I see y'all energy. I know,
Oh Lord.
and I welcome it. You don't have a dark spirit. And people.
Ooh, that's good to know, Jesus. I know I don't be right sometimes, but I try.
You don't be right sometimes. But you know what? I still love you, and you're not evil. You don't have a dark energy. There's some people out here who are energy vampires. And when people say, "Oh, I see you, I see the light," and they want to touch you and they just want to take take your energy.
Yeah.
So I don't like that. I don't like the
Yeah.
transference of energy with strangers or people with dark energy. So for me, a snapshot of my journey in COVID, I drank every day. A fifth of Hendrix. Yeah,
Gin.
gin.
Right.
And
That's the top shelf shit too.
it is
Shit.
top shelf shit.
It is, yeah.
My first drink was St. Ives. So
How far we done come, Jesus?
yeah, I
Oh,
graduated from St. Ives at 12 to 2020 Mad Dog in 96 when I got pregnant with Jasmine. I got drunk off 2020 Mad Dog and got pregnant with
Oh,
Jasmine.
wow.
And then you just kind of elevate to the top shelf shit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
drinking gin every day, you just lose yourself. And for me, it was like when I looked in the mirror, I didn't recognize who I was. I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about my grooming. I didn't care about answering the phone. I didn't care about nothing. It was just sex and gin. That was it. Preferably at the same time.
I'm not mad at that though.
Yeah, that's that Gemini shit.
I know you be having them twins, and y'all ain't mad at that though.
The twins will come out and play.
So for you though, and that's real shit, because like through the pandemic, I think all of us, well, not all of us, were having some struggles. A lot of us.
Yeah.
Because I know I was doing some day drinking too.
Well,
And
see,
I
and
had to be like, okay, it's like you got to get to a point where you're like, I have to have some type of control over this.
I didn't realize that it was a problem, right? Because I didn't feel like I was hurting nobody. I was in the house.
Right.
I still was showing up to work. I was still doing all the things. It wasn't until I began to vomit blood,
Oh.
like profusely though. And it was like, my first thought was, damn, I wasted the liquor. You would think, I know it's laughable, but it's sad.
No, I'm not laughing at
No,
you,
it's
but
okay.
that's how you be. Like, that's
It's
how
so
fucked
fucked
up
up.
you be. Yep. Like,
But you would think your first thought, because I like to drink on an empty stomach.
mm.
You would think your first thought is, let's go to the doctor, right? Because if you bleeding internally, something's wrong. But my thought was, no, I wasted liquor. I need to make another drink. So the alcohol had such a hold on me, a chokehold. It was literally like calling me. So that's scary when you begin, like, as an intellectual. One of the things about being a lawyer is you're very analytical. I solve problems for a living. I get paid by solving problems. And I realized that this was problematic, but instead of me coming up with a solution, I just fed more of the problem to myself. And just imagine just having no control over just continuously doing this, vomiting, and then like, well, let me just.
Right. I'm just going.
Let me 911, And it was so embarrassing. Like, this is pathetic. You would think that, oh, let me tell somebody. I couldn't even bring myself to talk about that while I was going through it. So then when I'm looking at myself and it's like, who are you? I didn't have an answer to that. So then I was like, I need to get some help. And that's how I end up going to therapy January 3rd of last year. And then I woke up Super Bowl weekend, February 17th. Because I began to just plead and beg God to take the desire in it for the taste of it. Most people don't like the taste of liquor. Most people drink because they like the feeling of it.
Right.
I actually enjoy the taste of liquor, which is
because that's why we cut it. Let me get a little juice with it, or that's why we like the
Sweet.
flavored liquor to come.
I don't like no flavored liquor. I would drink my gin with just a little bit of tonic.
All right.
A little.
Just a little.
And then, like, even in a bar, I would go for the Long Island. So give me 5 of the top shelf liquors, a little bit of sweet, sour, a little bit of Sprite.
But here's the thing, though, Jacquise, you went through some things that were traumatic and tragic for you. So can we talk about that?
Sure.
Is that
Sure.
can we go there? I mean, as far as your mom,
I don't have anything off limits. I would just say, don't ask nothing that you don't want to hear the answer to.
well, I mean, that's rare for me. I don't know.
I mean,
but I get it. But I mean, like for you, when your mom passed, was that part of the issue too? It's like we came out of COVID, and then it's like with her passing, that was right after that, right?
Yeah, well, we were still in COVID. I mean, that was 2021.
Yeah. So yeah.
So a lot of people had already passed from COVID, but my mom actually had COVID as well. I had to wear a hazmat suit to see her. Excuse me. And they didn't want her to have any visitors because she was on the COVID ward. And I don't really throw around a lawyer thing a lot, but I was like, I don't think Garden City, you want to have those problems,
Okay.
with me. My mom's getting ready to pass, so you need to figure it out. So I ended up having to have a meeting with like the head of the hospital to get the approval
All right.
to be able to go into the room with her, and I put on the suit or whatever, and I kissed my mom and I was with her and all of that, um, because this would really be the last time I get to see her alive, and I was willing to risk. I mean, my mother risked so much with me having Jasmine at 13. She risked so much for me, and it was really an honor. I was the only one there with her when she passed. We listened to Luther. So if I got COVID to say my goodbyes, I thought it was only fitting because she had done so much for me while she was here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I lost my mom, and then I lost my brother 9 months later.
Right.
He died, and he was in my mom's truck in front of the house. And my mother's death, I really feel like broke my brothers. The relationship between moms and sons is different. And they were really codependent on each other. And I'll say this publicly now, but I told him, I was like, you know what, mama, when mama died, he gonna die soon after. You can't live without her. I had said that like because we used to just be beefed out all the time. We would just like go back and forth. I don't know if I really thought that he would actually die when she when she died, but he did. He dropped dead. His heart just stopped while sitting in the truck out in front of her house. And then my other brother, he just kind of disappeared, and he's in rehab now. So shit got crazy.
Yeah.
So I drank. Yeah, and then like the night my mom died, December 17th, 8:15 p.m. And crazy enough, my father also died on December 17th, 1985, 9:20 p.m. I was so fucked up. I ended up like falling in the tub. I thought I broke my ribs, but I didn't realize that I was injured until the next. Actually, I missed it. So my mom died on a Friday. That whole Saturday, I don't know what land I was in. I missed like a whole day. So I really woke up on that Sunday, not even realizing that Saturday had happened. But I had,
like a blackout.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, a lot of blackouts.
That's a lot to deal with.
A little bit. Losing
That's a lot.
losing your mom is I don't feel like that's something they prepare us for.
No. And I don't think you could ever get over that. Like when people like get over, I don't think death is not something you get over. You just get through it. Like you just learn how to function differently.
Especially not of your mother. Like,
yeah.
I'm fortunate to still have my mother, but nothing can prepare you for
No.
the person who's been there your
Right.
entire life.
Right. Especially if you
way
had a
that
good
no one
mother
else
like
can.
Jacquise said, a good
Yeah.
mother.
And then it's like your mother's heartbeat was the first one you heard from the
That's right.
inside, the only one that you heard from the inside of the body.
Yeah.
Just how profound is that? And then to
Yeah.
be able to, when my mom passed, I had like my hand on her heart, and it is
Wow.
more than a notion to feel someone's heart stop.
Oh wow.
And I looked at the nurse like,
Yeah.
she did. The lady was like,
That's a lot.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was wild. It was wild. So then I just drank. I just drank for 2 years, pretty much after that. Straight. A lot.
Were you in therapy? You weren't in therapy then.
Oh hell no! I was just on the couch.
Right.
We can laugh. It's okay.
Yeah. And just know I'm not laughing at you.
It's okay. I'm laughing because it's crazy.
Yeah.
Because if you know me,
this
it's
social
like
worker in me. I done heard so much stuff. Sometimes that's my defense mechanism too. Like
I'll be laughing.
But you laugh at just the absurdity of the situation sometimes. Too, like, damn, I done went through some shit. Like I've really been through some shit.
Yeah.
You be high functioning, and then to get to a point where I was like in a catatonic state. I couldn't even. Yeah, you couldn't even. I couldn't even. I didn't even, like I said, you just didn't know. I didn't know who I was. And then after my mom died, I ended up going to Pantheon for some lamb chops, and I got a stripper put something in my drink. Yeah, this is not public. This is not public information. I'll share this.
Oh my god!
I got something put in my drink.
Where's she at? Let's find. You know what?
Yeah, we ain't gonna. We're gonna leave her alone.
Okay. You know what? That's the Aries in me about to roll out on your ass. Like, where's this bitch at?
I did file a police report.
Okay.
But that's something hard to prove. I had like over 7 things in my system. It was crazy. I don't know what she gave me. But put me in a psychosis. So I was seeing and hearing things. It was like lightning in the house.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it was some crazy
How long
stuff.
did you experience those symptoms?
Maybe about 3 days.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I ended up hospitalized for a week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, nobody knew that.
Ooh, child. Phew. Whew.
Yeah, so alcohol is a mother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then people who trying to, that's why I don't be like, oh, I'm a lawyer. Because people think, oh, you got money. So let me, set you up or let me rob you or whatever. But that could have killed me,
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm glad it did. I'm glad you're here to get a
Thank you.
testimony, though.
Thank you. Me too.
Let's
Yeah.
praise God. Listen,
Yeah.
I love it. And I appreciate you sharing that
Yeah.
as well, because I know that's not easy to discuss. But I'm glad to like witness moments like this where you and Karlyta. So how did you were you and Jacquise in contact throughout this time, or when did you all reconnect?
No, it was so funny. Like literally, when it opened and everything started happening.
And when did it open?
She popped up. So the soft
Okay,
opening.
wait, let's get the ribbon cutting, as a matter of fact, mockery open.
Hey,
Cause it's like it was right on time. It's like a ribbon, the one over that no, I'm sorry, the third one. Yep, right there. I believe that's the one where let's show that's the ribbon cutting, right?
That's the ribbon cutting. So I did my soft opening on Small Business Saturday. And then the grand opening, that's what you're seeing there with the ribbon cutting. But prior to that, Mockery started as a mobile, non-alcoholic bartending business.
Okay.
And that arm of the business does still exist for corporate events, personal, private parties, all that kind of stuff. Like that's how I started, and that does still go on. But no, the thing about Mockery is that it brought, even that day for the ribbon cutting, there were people who showed up that I haven't seen in years.
Wow. And so Jacquise, you were one of those people? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but she had shown up before then.
Okay.
She had shown up before then, and we had a conversation about her being sober and all that kind of stuff. And so it was like, a reconnection through that, which I think we have all the time, like throughout our lives, right? People come in phases and seasons, and sometimes we're pulled apart from people for whatever reason. And then we
Wait a
get
minute, can we run that back?
Yeah.
Because I'm in that phase of my life too, where you seeing people. I was telling my daughter this. People are for a reason, season, and a lot of people are for reasons, seasons, and a lot of them are for lifetimes.
Yeah.
But most of them are for reasons and seasons.
Yeah.
That's why I had to let my daughter know.
Yeah, absolutely. And then sometimes it's that there's a version of you that has to be reintroduced to that person, and both of you have to achieve that new version in order for it to come around when the timing is right, right? But the thing that I also find throughout my life is that people who have played roles, and I don't even know, like my landlord, I don't even know if he's going to remember this, but people who play roles in my life today, and all through my life, they've always been around. Like they've always been around in some way, shape, or form. My landlord, the first time I ever met him in person was at a community meeting in Grandmont Rosedale, where we were discussing things about nonprofits and new developments in the area and all that kind of stuff. And he was sitting in the front row and I was sitting behind him. And I made a comment. He turned around and he just gave a little like clap. But, who knew that, years later, this would be the man who gave me the opportunity to open up the shop, like to open up the thing that was going to bring me like so much joy and so much engagement. But you don't know those things. And so when Jacquise showed up, it was just kind of like, it's, I'm a person who was a firm believer in this journey that we're on as human beings. It's nothing short of a huge spiritual interaction, right? What it is that our soul wants, what it calls out for, what it is that we need inside of this journey. And so the people who show up are just these integral parts of this very large puzzle that if we are humble enough, will provide us with so much. And if we're open enough, will allow us to re-engage with people who we have not seen, in decades.
Yeah.
And you don't have to know everything that's happened in their lives up until that point. Like they can choose to share, but the only thing that matters is who's standing in front of you at that moment. And when you get to those points, I feel like you get the best of people.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you get the best of people. So no, it's been great. Like she showed up. She showed up the other day trying to insult me. She came walking in talking, you about to leave? You ain't you supposed to be open? You about to leave? I'm like, no, I'm not about to leave. I just opened. I'm trying to bring some stuff in, but it's been beautiful. And even at that ribbon cutting, looking around, you fight really hard for versions of yourself. You know, just as Jacquise just described, and just as it was for me in COVID, like you fight really hard for these ultimate versions of yourself. And it's no different than fighting for anything in your life, whether it's a position you want, a role inside of a corporate, whatever it is. There is no person that I've met, or myself included, that's going to tell you that they got to this version of themselves, even what was shared with us in operations school. And you don't go through these huge releases, sheddings, walking through all these fires, these realizations of self, getting over these aspects of yourself, willing to let certain parts of you and versions of you die and move away. Like,
ooh, ring the bell.
There's
baby.
There's a lot that goes on, and it's not easy. And it's a decision. You know, I always say, like, you don't necessarily get it. It's intention.
It's intentional.
It's intentional.
Interaction is intentional.
Absolutely.
Intentional. Rest is intentional. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Karlyta, I don't know if you remember. So the last time I saw you was it was between 2017 and 2019. You was
I was 12.
He was working at the library.
Yeah.
And I had a date at the library where she set up a tour.
Yes.
It was pretty cool.
The main library?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
I love books. And, you know, that is a sexy date to be able to take someone through. Because the main library has so many artifacts and historical.
It truly does. It truly does. I do remember that.
One of the things in AA that, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. Oops. Studying about sobriety, one of the things I had to do was like look up words, and I was just curious about what's the oldest dictionary in the world. Just out of curiosity, the main library got one of the oldest dictionaries in the world, and it is orange and it's so old. Like
I'm about to say, is it protected? It seems like it could be.
Well, they got it like in a stacks or whatever.
Okay,
but they still let you get it. Now it wasn't, I guess, because I went to the library up at U of M and they got some old slave memoirs, and they won't let you touch it without gloves because the oil in our skin breaks the paper down. So when I first started studying and trying to gain an understanding about sobriety and how it works, I would go to the main library to look up my words to see what the words meant then and how it plays out now. So people who are a lover of books, I encourage you to get down to the main library just to read and just check out that we got some of the best books in the world right here in Detroit.
Oh, absolutely.
And I love the smell of books too. Still,
yeah, me too.
I'm someone. Hey, Rodnisha, I'm someone who I never got into the Kindles. I couldn't get into the e-readers, and as someone who loves books,
that's
as a writer, nah, I need to feel the pages. So I love those full circle moments. So Karlyta, how did it move from the mobile business into a brick and mortar? Because that's a huge step.
It is.
That's a huge step.
It is.
So talk about that process.
So the thing that I knew, and
we can bring up a couple the pictures here as she's talking, please.
So the thing that I knew was that I wanted a space, right? As I started to engage with what this was becoming, because prior to opening the space, and that's why when the calling came, I was like, I don't really understand why this is happening, why I'm being called to this. I had a small business prior to going into COVID, but it looked more like guided meditations. It looked more like Reiki. It looked more like all of those things. And the events were centered around things like that. So in my mind, me being called to this seemed like, I don't understand. You know, like I have this is already going on. But when I started doing it for myself, right, and realizing, connecting these things to it, so that when it came time for me to start really putting this vision down on paper as a business plan, and for anyone who's done a business plan, you know, it's a living document. Like it's a living document. It's going to change. It's going to look so many different ways, and you just become okay with it. But the thing that I knew that I have kept on my business plan from the very beginning was that I wanted a space for people to come and experience this. And I was just talking about this in the shop before I shut down today. Because I have people all the time who will say like, well, why a non-alcoholic bottle shop? Why would you want to do that in Detroit? Why would you want to do that in Detroit? I'm like, do you ask people?
We really need it here. All the liquor stores here.
And that's
we need more of them.
That's what I always say.
Need to
I'm
make
like,
this more of a thing.
yeah, I'm like, do you ask people why they want to open liquor stores?
Exactly.
Like, no, you don't. But the other thing is,
you know what? Who? You know what? I'm sorry.
no, you're fine.
These people
Yeah,
be
you're
saying shit like, what
And
are you talking about, hater?
people say it all the time, but the thing was, and I was just sharing this in the shop, is I was like, think about the most peaceful place that you go to, right? And some people might say a spa. There's not an ounce of alcohol in a spa. But when you walk into a spa, you immediately feel yourself, your nervous system start to feel safe. You know that you're in a space that supports you. You know, you're in a space that when you walk out, you're going to feel both replenished. You're going to feel as if you're ready to go face a few more things. Your body is a whole lot more relaxed, but you're not having a single alcoholic drink.
Right.
And so my thing was,
they have you drink water on the way out, as a matter of fact.
Cucumber water on the way out. Ooh. And that's the thing, but that was my thing, right? That because this was where the business that I had prior to going into COVID came into play, right? And really questioning how you engage with yourself as a being. And understanding that a lot of things that you engage with are simply because they were just traditions that were visually shown to you that you did. But there's things that stand to defeat that idea of what you actually even believe is a tradition, the spa being one of them.
Yeah.
And that I wanted to create a space where people could come and begin to really allow themselves to relax.
Black people especially. Let me note that for us Black people, because the generational trauma is why we probably drink and use drugs and oversex and just we're coping with a lot as Black people.
Yeah. And it's like
in Detroit of all places as well, we have traumas from that. Yeah.
And I wanted it to be in the heart of the city. I had two things that I wrote down. I wanted it to be in Detroit and I wanted it to be near a university. Whether it was Wayne State, U of D, whatever
get the college
it was,
kids involved,
because that's usually
teach them a different way. Show them, that's
the crux. Like that's where you meet drinking just for the sake of social. Like that's where it happens and becomes heavy,
and can become deadly as well.
Exactly,
because I had a few friends in college. Sorry, digress right quick. My college roommate had alcohol poisoning.
Yes.
If I had not woken up and called, she was in her sleep vomiting on her back. And I happened to wake up in the middle of the night and hear her gurgling because she's laying there. And I had to call my mother, like, what's happening? And she was like, turn her on her side. And I remember she had been out drinking Bacardi and all of that night. And
Bacardi Limon.
Oh my God, baby!
I drank that in high school.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, right? We're transitioning into college, we getting it in, and I to this day remember that how throughout college people have told me how they've had these experiences where they ended up hospitalized or near death because of alcohol. So much. So we need spaces like this.
Yeah.
We do. And college students need to see it's other ways they can relax.
Yeah. And we as adults, like I love hosting, right? I love hosting. I love having people in my home. People who know me know that about me. But mainly because I feel like as adults, you don't have the opportunity where someone says like, chill, I got everything. Just sit here and enjoy yourself. Like take a load off. Let me do that for you. And so that was another part of why I was going to evolve into a space, because even on the first business plan, I wrote that I was going to have community-based activations as well as things that served as entertaining engagements for people to come in, because the truth is, like people will always say it, but not related to other things, like perspective is truth. Right. And that's just it. And if you begin to change perspective and if you begin to challenge traditions, you create new things, you create new pathways. And my favorite thing is having people come in and they just stay. I mean, relax. They just stay and just relax.
Did we show the other, I'm sorry, clips or the other images? Okay, so I love that. Right, so they know they can come.
They can stay. I think I have pretty good music.
You got Wi-Fi?
We ain't gonna talk about that. We ain't gonna talk about that.
It's coming. Is it coming?
But the vibes is
okay. It's coming.
The vibes is sexy.
Right. Okay. Good.
Yeah, it feels inviting. Like you want to just kind of hang out.
Yeah. Okay. And that's what I want.
Yeah, because I like that decor. Did you do the decor?
I did. I wanted it to feel like a gift. Yeah,
it's giving home living, or what's that magazine? Home and Gardens. It's giving.
I know that's right.
It's giving Black Martha Stewart-ish.
Don't hype your bestie up, because at the end of the day, like
what was the Beverly? Was it B. Smith? That's what it's giving. Oh yeah, that's what it's giving me.
I always say like I love those things. I loved hosting. I love Martha Stewart before the biography. I love some B. Smith. Like I loved these things. things because I just feel like hosting is a love language, right?
Yeah,
And
it
so when
is.
people come into the shop, people who know me have been in my house, like it's like coming in your house.
I love
And
it.
I'm like, you're absolutely right, because I want you to come in. I want you to experience, but the thing I really want you to experience is yourself.
Mhm.
Right. I want you to experience yourself without a filter. There are so many people who I've met throughout this journey who are like, I drank because I was an introvert. Not because I liked alcohol, but because I was an introvert. And this made me feel like I was one of the crowd.
Liquid courage. They say liquid courage. Yeah.
I was one of the crowd. This was something that
Mhm.
made me feel included. There are a million reasons why we make choices, right? And I just love the idea of opening it. And since then, that's why I don't. And that's the thing. Like when you're obedient, you get gifts that you didn't, well, you knew you needed, but you didn't know how you get them. And that space has allowed me to just reopen the child in me that just used to love to create and create things and create parties and create things for people to come engage with that were of my own mindset, right? That I really enjoyed, whether other people, thought of it or not. So we've done sound bowl healing. We did boothless bingo. We've done vino and violin.
And you've been open how long?
Since November 30th.
Okay, vino and violin. I like that. The sound of that.
And that's the thing. Like you came in, come paint a wine glass. One of my really good friends, shout out Mirage, came in, played the violin while they got to do it. And the thing I love about it is that this is my blessing. This is my gift for being obedient, is that I get to give what I love giving to the world, right? I get to give people having a good time inside of what just comes out of my mind. And I just love to see people do, like this Saturday, we doing Bellinis and belly dancing.
Listen,
okay?
let's go.
Because these are things that should be available in your community, right?
Yes.
Like, because the thing that sobriety forces you to do, and Jacquise, I don't know if you'll agree with this, is that it forces you to actually realize what you enjoy doing. It forces you to actually establish hobbies. I talked to so many people who didn't have hobbies, didn't know what they enjoyed as hobbies. But when there is no drinking, if you go out and you can't have a drink and you got to just engage with people, the conversations are different.
Yeah.
And you have to go find other things to do when you're not drinking, right? So it forces you to get closer to yourself. It forces you. So I just wanted to make these things that could be hobbies available to people, right? The things that maybe you thought of, but you never got back to it. Like you thought, I want to try that. I want to get back to it. Like I want to give you those things.
So you're creating the programming?
Yes.
Okay. So is it just you? Do you have any employees or is it just you?
Me.
Solo entrepreneur. Okay. So solo proprietor.
It's
Okay.
just me.
Let's see that video. This is Jacquise and another young lady. You all, is this during one of the events, Jacquise? Or y'all cheers.
So we
The way you shine. Y'all's playing that Way to Excel soundtrack in the background.
Listen, I think I got good music taste. I be playing, you know what I'm saying? Some days you come in, it's 80s pop days. Sometimes it's 90s R&B.
I love it.
You're gonna get all the things. But no, that was Sound Bowl. And she came in. And again, like you meet people and you don't even know that you have these commonalities, like because of who you've grown into being. And Sound Bowl was such a huge part of my life. And that's the other thing. A lot of things that I host are part, like belly dancing, Kundalini yoga was something that I did to get back
and
to myself
introduce
as
people
a
to
woman.
new different things too.
That's right.
I love that. So what are we sipping on? That I'm about done.
Well,
I
drank all of mine.
Jacquise drank theirs, but I'm drinking mine now, y'all. What is this one?
It was great.
Talk about the different lines that you have.
I have a ton of different things. I have everything from non-alcoholic wines up into spirits, right? So if you're looking for non-alcoholic tequilas, bourbons, whiskeys, vodkas, all those things. The most popular category in the shop is probably adaptogenics, right? This that we had today, this is one of the adaptogenic lines. This is Drome. This is their Awake formula. But the great thing about it is that these adaptogenics contain things that are natural, right? Herbs, botanicals, roots, things like that. This one in particular has some functional mushrooms inside of it. So some cordyceps, like some reishi. But they're things that are good for your body that allow you to get a body experience. And a lot of people want that and they're looking for that. And it's what they think alcohol does for them.
It's like the placebo.
But no, it's real. It's real. It's real. And that's when people come in. Yeah. And they're like, can you actually feel it? And I'm like, well, do you take supplements? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, do you feel those? Like, yeah. I'm like, it's the same thing.
Okay.
Like, it's the same exact thing. And it gives people an opportunity to engage with a different, because the truth is, like I was just talking to a doctor about this, as a matter of fact, alcohol does two things for us. Is the statement that he made that we were discussing. It opens our hypothalamus and it allows us the essential need for social interaction, right? Because that's the thing that we really need. We need to be social. We need to talk to each other. We need to drink with each other. We need to commune. We need all of that. But it's not actually giving you that feeling. It's giving you the lack of inhibition to holding yourself back, to letting that feeling come to the surface. You're not internally judging yourself. You're not telling yourself to like keep it together. Like all of that is out the window. But it's not actually giving you that. But these products, that's the thing I love about them, is that they're actually giving you a feeling. The adaptogen is coming in and it's helping you. Like lots of people take ashwagandha. I have products in the shop that have ashwagandha inside of them.
You call it adaptogenics.
Yep, adaptogenics. Okay. Yep, they are things that help us, essentially adapt to whatever it is we're facing, right? I'm a visual thinker. I always describe it as like Pac-Man. Pac-Man's moving across the board. In the beginning, he's running away from all the ghosts. Fruit bops along. Pac-Man grabs the fruit. Now he's chasing the ghost, right?
Okay.
It's kind of like what adaptogenics are. They come in and they latch on to like our sensory receptors, all that kind of stuff. And whatever they're intended to do, they give us an opportunity to choose that pathway, right? To engage with that, because it's in the body and it's changing how we're going to interact and all that kind of stuff. So if you use herbs, if you use any of those things and you feel like they work, then that's what you're getting. And I always like to make the difference between mocktails and zero proof cocktails, because it's a big difference. In Michigan, legally, I can't sell someone underage a non-alcoholic vodka. I can't make them a drink with a non-alcoholic vodka. I can't do any of those things. So mocktails for me are going to be things that I'm selling or I'm doing when people are having like high school send-offs, sweet 16s.
Okay. So zero proof is different from a mocktail.
Very much so.
Okay.
Mocktails are going to be like juice based.
Minute was a mocktail.
So no. So
okay.
When you get into that end of things, and I like to make the difference, because a lot of times you'll have people who will be like, okay, and I'm like, no, I can't serve that to your kid. Like I can give them
They don't understand
this.
the distinction.
Yeah. In Michigan, it's against the law for me to serve a non-alc rum or something like that to someone who is underage. And then you can't even purchase it in a store. You have to show ID for it. So yeah, I like to make the difference between the two. But I love saying that because so many people will be like, it's juice. You about to charge me for some juice. And it's like, I'm not.
I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking that.
Yeah, I know.
That's
why information. That's why information is important.
Information is important.
And I'm glad. I'm glad we did this. So yeah,
the best thing I've had out of the shop though was the zero proof champagne.
Yeah.
And I am not a fan of champagne. But when I celebrated, I should have sent you that video. When I celebrated my 13th month, I popped the bottle. It was up.
Yeah, I saw that. Damn, I saw that. Yeah.
From, Paris.
A Parisian.
Yeah.
I saw that. Were you
yeah,
okay.
We're not on Belle Isle because the water, was still frozen. It was just nice out there. Being able to do, I didn't take my shoes off, but last year at the congregation, I did a lot of grounding. So taking my shoes off and then engaging in a zero proof or mocktail drink is which has been a great experience for me.
Right.
So
that's right.
So what do you do, Jacquise, when you get the urge? Because those who struggle with addiction know that it's a lifetime thing.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
I'm pretty fortunate.
And again, kudos to you. Hand claps to you for doing it. No, I'm for real. Like seriously.
No, thank you. I'm blessed. I no longer have urges. Me and God got an understanding, and it's been an elevation of what I'm doing spiritually, where I no longer have urges. So to get to that place though, you got to do the work, and be committed to sobriety, which I am. So I study, I pray, I meditate, I do sound healing, acupuncture, go to the gym 5 days a week.
Did you have to like separate from certain people though too?
Yes and no. You hit on something that triggered. She said you got to find things to do that you don't do, because everything was surrounding alcohol. Right. And when you're in a numb state, you're not really analyzing your friends.
That's right.
Right. She said you find out what you really like to do.
Yeah, and then you find out that you don't really like people. like
without drinking.
yeah,
Exactly.
like
You know
I don't really
what?
like
You know
you.
Or
what?
no, or the
Right.
people that you drink with.
Yeah, that's what I
Yes.
mean.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
not people in general. It was like the
Yes.
core of you.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
didn't really like. I don't really like your foundation
Yeah.
Yeah.
and who you are as a
Yeah.
person. And as you elevate other people's energy and spirit
Yeah.
levels, um, uh, are disagreeable
Yeah.
Yeah.
to yours. It's like your frequency bothers me. Just
Right.
thinking about because like I feel like
I'm feeling that because I've been going through that the past 3 to 5 years. Like seriously.
like we all on a station right now, right? So you think about the hurts that we're emitting because we all are energy.
Mhm.
But some people now that I don't drink, their emission of their frequency is alarming.
Mm.
And that's hurtful. That's sad because you don't know who that could be. So I've had to terminate 2 relationships. People that is very close
Mhm.
to me. And that's an interesting process.
Mhm.
But God has said, all I need is God,
And
and
you got to be obedient.
gotta be
Yeah,
obedient.
because you got to let go. If you the new version of you requires you to let go of certain things. It
Hello.
does. The
Hello.
new levels, new devils. I
Hello.
mean, not that you say devils, but just saying it does.
It
It's
does. And you can't always say like this next version of the woman or man that you are meant to be doesn't eat what you eat, doesn't live like you live it, doesn't have the same like days that you have, doesn't wake up when you wake up. And when you start to walk into that person, that all has to change.
uh-huh.
And if the environment doesn't support it, then it's not
Yep.
going to
Yep.
change.
Well, I was
Yeah.
listening to Same OG by Genuine.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, come on now.
Timberland
That's
is a
high
part.
school.
Listen,
on.
and Timberland has a part where he says, "People say you change it, but it's the people around me who are changing." Meaning, I'm around different people now,
Yeah.
and I've noticed that as well. Like when I go, when I decide to go certain places, it really has to be an intentional purpose for me now.
Mhm.
Like I'm partying with a purpose now. Like
Yeah.
either you're someone I love and I'm celebrating with you, or I'm networking,
Mhm.
or I've got a purpose, a reason why I'm around certain people now. I notice that now where I'm like, do I really want to? Do I want to do this?
Yeah.
Like, do I? Because even though COVID is no longer here, I'm still in this part at times where I don't want to interact as much
Yeah.
or at a certain level. And then I also wanted to bring up shout out to Priya Mann of Click on Detroit. She celebrated 1,000 days of sobriety. That
Oh,
just
wow.
popped up on my Facebook. How she was talking about she started her sobriety journey in 2022, and then she ran a marathon in 2024. And so I just really admire it's like this evolution that we go through. And I think as women, especially, like
Mhm.
we have like these epiphanies where we're like,
Absolutely.
especially as you mature,
Mhm.
you're like, look,
Mhm.
I can't keep doing the same shit if I want different results. And it's like you feel like a hamster on the wheel. And then you get to that point where you're like, no, I'm about to get off and I gotta get on the track. And that's something I've witnessed with you,
Yeah.
Jacquise. And again, it's definitely an evolution.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the things I drank because I couldn't sleep, and I can't sleep because, like she said, being a creative, I got all these ideas and
Ooh,
thoughts in
yeah.
my mind. So I would drink to silence
Yeah.
the thoughts.
Yeah.
But now, because I do sound healing, I've been able, like this morning, I meditated for 26 minutes.
Oh my
I
God.
can literally leave rooms spiritually. I could have never imagined being able to do that by myself.
Yeah.
And I don't have to leave a room like when you drink alcohol, you off wherever.
Right.
But you don't have any clarity. You don't remember
Mhm.
what you've done. You've said
Yeah.
you've done some things that
Yeah. Ooh.
you regret.
Yeah.
So I get up every day at 4 a.m. to meditate and have quiet time with God. It's prayers, petitioning to God, whatever your petitions are. And I think a lot of people are stuck in a frequency is on the same channel because you petition to God, but you don't get quiet and still enough to be able to
Mhm.
hear him. And God communicates to me with impressions like on my heart, like when you think about your intuition.
Mhm.
So before I start my day or before I talk to anyone and come outside, I just want to, thank God and just get closer. So not having alcohol in my system allows me the clarity and the peace to be able to hear him. And I want to
Mhm.
say, you asked me about losing my mother. I have so much peace now. Peace because my peace comes from God, and I call God Jehovah Elohim. He got about 62 names in the Bible. And that's one of my favorite names, thinking about his authority and also his sovereignty and the familial space that he plays in our lives. So not having alcohol now has allowed me to be able to hear God very clearly.
Yeah.
And that within itself. So when you ask, hey, yeah, to get through it, but to be able to function, because I wasn't able to function when my mom died.
Yeah.
And now I have peace and I'm thriving again because God has given that to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a gift.
Yeah. Oh my
It's one of the
gosh, I
miracles.
love it.
It's one of the miracles of sobriety. So if you having
It's
grief,
one of the what's of
one of
sobriety?
the miracles of sobriety,
Miracles. Okay.
you having grief and you're just stricken and you can't move and you stuck is because you're
Yeah.
trying to function and figure it out on your own. And it's not meant to be. I mean, God is looking for us to need him. He wants to be able to provide that kind of solace to us.
And lean on others too who can help us. Like
Yeah.
addiction brings a lot of shame with it at times too, especially when you know you don't cut up and you like, I shouldn't have been drinking, I shouldn't have been doing that, and then now you feeling like this shame, and it's like I gotta seclude myself.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's required, but God does want you to lean on others who are supportive. He puts, I believe he puts angels around you who can support you. I don't think it's by accident that we interact or come into contact with certain
No.
people.
Absolutely not. Put
on that
Karlyta
journey.
right down the street from me.
No.
I never lived on the west side. You know, I've been an east sider,
I
94
know.
Cashew.
I
I
know.
move around a corner from the first. I mean, she is the first
In the city.
in the city. And, you know, for us to have that experience from Dominican, that's been 29 years. That
Hey,
Exactly.
whoa.
That's
I don't know what
minus
she's
15,
talking
15
about.
years. It's been 5 years. Well, we graduated in
She's
20.
talking about.
Sorry, 9 years. We graduated in 2015. She said.
Her math
Listen,
is,
what?
her
listen,
math's a little off.
Listen, but this is the testimony that we are here.
Yeah.
And we can pass this.
And we look great. And we look
I
great.
like, I
Listen.
just like to joke with her about
Right.
it. No.
Yes.
I love every year that
Yeah.
I get to continue to age.
Yeah, no, seriously.
I lost a friend in middle school.
Exactly.
So it's
like,
yeah,
come
no.
on, we
Every
listen,
year.
it's
Every
better
year
to
is
be
great.
seen than viewed, okay? Like seriously, like I'm proud to be 48. Like, thank you, Jesus, because it's people who 28 who ain't here. So
True.
we gotta wrap it up, ladies. So I thank you again for sharing your stories.
Yeah.
But I wanted to have you let people know what you got coming up, where they can follow you, Jacquise. I'll start with you, and then of course.
I think we should start with Karlyta.
Okay, all right.
So you can find the bottle shop at 7400 West McNichols. It is the building that sits right on the corner of Prairie and McNichols with the Aaliyah mural on the side, which amazing.
Yes.
All the windows. I am generally always standing inside of it. And I am there. If you want to follow on social media, on Instagram, it is at Mockery0 spelled out proof. That is where I announce all of the events. So you'll always be in the know of what's going on. The April event calendar is being released this Saturday. I'm really excited for what's coming in April.
Me
but that's
too.
where
I'm gonna
you
have to check that out. I need some.
yeah,
belly
that's
dancing.
where you can always find it. And
Yeah.
if you ever want to book the service for any event and things like that that you have going on, that link is in the bio as well. You can always click there and do that and send in a request. Currently booking in May.
Let's go. Yes,
Yeah.
let's go. I love it. I love how the Detroit, and shout out to the city of Detroit, how really y'all supporting small businesses as y'all should.
Detroit has shown up for
As
Moxie in
they
a
should.
huge way.
I love Department of Neighborhoods. Shout out to y'all. I
Yeah.
really I love that. So making sure they following you in Jacquise.
Yeah, so I'm Jacquise Purifoy on Facebook and DETBLK attorney, Detroit Black attorney. Is my Instagram, and the Purifoy experience is my last name. P as in Paul, URIF. F as in Frank, OY, the Purifoy experience. I don't have any events to announce right now. I've really just been working on myself and being very inward. And if you need to find me, that means you're close enough to find me.
Fair enough. So
you can find me, you can find me in Sound Healing at the Bloom Transformation. And shout out to LaShonda Cooley with the connoisseurs. She is launching a coffee shop on the east side, East
Yes,
Warm.
let's go, East Side. I have to check that out. Okay. Shout out to you, LaShonda. Okay. Well, I like to end with 5 favorites. So last thing, I'd like to end with 5 favorites.
Oh boy.
My guess. So this time I'm gonna start with you.
Okay.
Jacquise.
All right.
5 favorites. Okay. Favorite travel destination.
Ooh. That's a toughie. My first thought was Jamaica because of Hidu.
No judgment.
Oh, give you 5
We
different. I thought you was
No,
gonna
no,
give me.
no, no. Oh, yeah. Okay. So Jamaica, because okay. And second was favorite food.
Ooh.
I love me some curry. I'm gonna go with some curry goat.
Mm.
There's
Some
spicy.
good. What's a good Jamaican spot
Oh,
around the city?
jerk at night on Livernois is fire.
Baby.
They plantain, the
Haven't been in there
curry
yet.
goat,
That
the
sound good.
rice and peas, the cabbage, the macaroni and cheese is fire. Fire.
That sound real good.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I love me some Jamaican food, baby.
Me too.
I mean, well, Caribbean food, I should say.
Caribbean,
Caribbean food,
yeah.
period.
Yeah.
Oh, that sound good. Dang, some curry goat with the little
It's dinner
all that
time.
sauce.
the roti.
And with the roti, and had them put some oxtail sauce on your rice.
You know what? Okay. Ooh.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to be good.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. Favorite musician.
Favorite male musician is Kim. Favorite female is Tony Braxton.
I should have known that
oh,
one.
that's right.
Yeah.
Favorite place to visit in Detroit.
Mockery.
Stop.
Of course. And what is your favorite thing to do when you relax? Besides sex.
I was about to say.
I mean, if it is sex, that's fine.
That's not relaxing. That's a lot of work.
You
You know what? You gotta have your core. I've been going to the gym 5 days a week though, getting my core tight.
Okay.
I've been abstinent though, so I haven't been sexing.
Okay.
Because I don't want anybody taking my energy. Sex is the exchange of a life force, and I'm a different person. So whoever I'm gonna be under or on top of me gotta be right.
Yeah.
So I'm abstaining in the moment. But hopefully more sex soon. So relaxing. I'm gonna have to go with sound healing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Okay.
Questions was
All right.
tough.
Was
I'm over
it
here
though?
like,
All right. Well,
You got to give her some different questions. I don't want her
Man.
because I think she was prepping.
I'm over here like,
Okay. What is your favorite mocktail?
That's hard. I would say I make a matcha based gin, non-alc gin drink that's really, really good. Yeah.
That sounds good.
It's delicious.
Okay. I'm
When
gonna
you
switch it up.
coming in, you gotta let me know. Send me a DM. I'll make you one.
Yeah.
I want one tomorrow. What time you open up?
Right. Yeah.
I'll be there. Oh, hours. So I'm open Wednesday through Saturday. Wednesday and Thursday, noon to 5. We're still inside of winter hours. Friday, noon until 6, and Saturday, 11 a.m. until 7 p.m.
Okay, love it. Okay. What is your favorite TV show or movie?
Ooh, I have a lot of favorite movies. I don't watch a lot of TV. One of my favorite movies is Sliding Doors and Coming to America. It's a tie.
Sliding Doors.
I've never heard of that.
It's a great movie. It kind of holds what I think about
Sounds like
life.
a Nicole Kidman-ish type thriller.
It's given. I used to read those books when I was a kid where you read them. It's like to get on the train, keep reading,
Okay,
to stay, make it. It's that kind of thing. That's how I think life is. So I love that movie.
Okay, love that. Okay, your favorite. I'm gonna ask you your favorite musician.
I would say I love Sade, but also Janet Jackson.
Yes. Okay. Not
Yeah, I love Janet. I love pop. Pop is my I didn't get into rap, hip hop, whatever until much later in my life. I love pop music and disco.
Okay.
That's my vibe. And I lived in a household where a lot of rock was being played, so I happen to love AC/DC, Pink Floyd stuff.
I love it. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. What is your favorite part of being a woman?
Oh,
You told me to switch it up.
every part. I love being a woman. I love everything about it. I love my intuition. I love my emotions. I love my nurturing touch. I love that I 100% have just this capability to expand things that I touch. I love everything about being a woman. I don't have a favorite, just being a woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Last one. Favorite accessory.
fragrance.
Okay.
For sure. You came in hot.
She
with
did.
that. Yeah, she came in hot.
She was smelling good. Okay. I love it. Well, I appreciate it, you ladies. Make sure you all are following both of them. I love it. So y'all, as y'all know, here on Rocky's Reality, we unfiltered and unapologetic. So I just really appreciate you ladies bearing your souls today, and that's just part of what I wrote down as the intention for my platform as well, and why I continue going to create that space for people too. And I love when people have those moments when they say, I haven't shared this before, I haven't said this before, because that lets me know that I'm creating that space for people to do that. Because I've always strive to make sure that I'm not asking just the normal questions like, okay, where you from and who you know, what school you go to. You know what I'm saying? Those things that you can find on Google. So I appreciate you ladies sharing the energy and space. And I'm definitely gonna come for my mocktails because I feel the same way too at times where it's like I need to find something else to do besides drink. Besides, you know, somewhere where it has to be us getting zooted.
Come out and I just a little teaser. I'm doing something for couples next month.
Oh, let me know. Okay, so
look
with my hubby. Yes. Because we've learned in our relationship we have to have certain conversations when we're not drinking. And like even when people have approached me when I'm out and about at a party, I'll say, call me when I'm sober, because my thing is I don't want to be discussing business with you. And I'm 2 sheets to the wind. Like that's not.
We had one of those conversations. Remember, I was like, I want you to have faith on your show. He was like, tell me. I was like, no, it's too deep. Let's talk about it later.
Right. So yeah, and we've had many of those conversations where it's like, okay, so I appreciate that, how we can be those friends who party but also handle business. That's what I appreciate about you, Jacquise, and how we've helped educate and support each other as well and introduce people. And Faith was, bless her. That was.
Did you have her on the show yet?
Faith Brown?
Yeah. Did I miss that?
Yes.
I didn't miss it. I watched it.
I'm about to
I watched it.
You did.
I didn't watch it. I watched
it. That was October of last year for
Yeah.
DV.
Yeah, the best
awareness. So that was definitely one of my heavy shows for me. But definitely a testament to how women, baby, the strength. So, but thank you all for watching. Next week I will be on as well. So tap back in. See you next Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all enjoy the weekend and take care. Thank you. Yeah.